ranking the 25 Rasasis in my collection. Let's do it. Hello people, my name is ENTEBAA and you're watching Smelly Cat. Now let's get this out of the way. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button now, and also the bell icon if you've already done it. Don't do it again because then you'll unsubscribe and that's not what we want. Okay, we'll quickly jump into today's video because we have 25 scents to talk about and we don't want this video becoming too long, right? A note before we move on, though, it was getting very hard for me to rank these because, you know, I was going to be biased. There are some that I like more than the others. So what I did is come up with this ultra scientific Excel sheet. It's an Excel sheet. I give them points based on 5 factors and then that's how I got my final ranking. What I did was I gave them 50 points in total, 10 points for the scent, 10 points for the performance, 10 for the compliment factor, 10 for wearability, and another 10 for value for money. But before we move on, let's do this. Let's make it a little more interesting, okay? Why don't you guess my number 3 and my number 2? Not my number 1, but my number 3 and number 2 on this list. No cheating, don't scroll and go all the way to the end. Just type it in the comments. What you think my number 3 Rasasi and my number 2 Rasasi is gonna be, and then when we reach the end, see if you got it right, okay? No cheating. And while you're there in the comment section anyway, please wish my mom and dad a happy anniversary. Today is their 39th wedding anniversary and they've been together actually more than that. They've known each other since childhood. They've been dating for like 10 to 15 years before the 39 years of marriage. So they know each other and have been in love with each other for more than 50 years. They really read your comments. So if you just leave a happy anniversary Agnes and Nicholas in the comments, it will make their day. On number 25, we have Rasasi's Romance EDP. This scent has been there for quite a few years now, a couple of decades actually. It's 20-25 years old probably, and it's starting to show its age. So it's not my sort of scent. Again, it's for women and my wife doesn't like it too much. I wear women's scents, I don't like it too much. But I see an older audience, say for example my mom, she would pull this off, but it's just not my favorite Rasasi. How I bought it was I was at a supermarket. I needed change. Stop honking. I needed change and I saw this behind the guy. He didn't have change, so I just picked it up for like 28 or 30 dirhams. It was behind him on the counter and I ended up buying it. But not my favorite scent. If you see, I've given it a 6.5 for scent. I've given it a 7.5 for performance. I've given it a 4.5 for compliments, a 5 for wearability, and for value for money, I've given it a 9. So even though it scores a lot for value for money, for scent, you can see the red arrow. It means that it's got the lowest among all the scents for the kind of scent it is. And even for compliments, it's got the lowest, which is a 4.5, because this is not really a scent that will get you compliments. This gives it a total of 32.5. On number 24, we have a scent that is somewhere in between Rasasi Shuhrah, the black one, and Rasasi Shuhrah, the pink one. This one is called EGRA for women and it is number 24 on my list. For the scent, I gave it a 7. For the performance, a 6. Compliments factor, a 5. Wearability, a 7. And value for money, a 9. Again, even though it's high in value for money, the scent is not bad. It sort of loses points in the compliments factor because it's not really a wow kind of scent. It's just a hey, musky, fruity scent that is quite boring actually. On number 3 is Rasasi's ROYALE, which is their take on Draka Noir. For this, I give a 7 for the scent. For performance, a 7. Compliments factor, a 6. Wearability, a 6. And value for money, an 8.5. Giving it a total of 34.5, making it 23 on my list. Coming in at number 22 is Oud Al Misk. It's actually not a bad scent. It's a good, light grapefruit and vetiver combination that would do better if it actually had better performance. It would be higher up on the list. Let's look at the points. It's got 7 for the scent, 5.5 for performance, 6 for compliments, 7 for wearability, and 9.5 for value for money. If you can see the red arrow, it means that the performance is the lowest among all the Rasasis that I have. Just wish it performed a little better, but hey, it's actually very cheap, so you can be respraying this. But if it did perform a little better, it would be higher up on the list. The total is 35 and this is rank 22. On rank 21, I have Rasasi's Hatim. Now people compare this to Versace's Pour Homme. It's even got that color, you know, but I don't find it very similar. Maybe slightly like that in the opening, but it is nowhere as close in quality to Versace Pour Homme or that sort of feel that it gives, and for that reason it's a little lower in my list, number 21. I'll tell you what the points are. Scent, I've given it a 7. Decent, nothing outstanding. For the performance, again a 7. For the compliments factor, a 6.5. Wearability, a 7. And for value for money, I've given it an 8. Wish it came in a bigger bottle, but again this is a 50 ml and it was around 50 odd dirhams, which is not bad. I just wish it did a little more. It's not a bad scent, really good for casual wear, but if it would have been a little more, if it had better performance, or if it smelled a little different, it would be higher up on the list. With 35.5 as a total, number 21 is Hatim. On number 20, we have Nafis Al Shagaf. I like the bottle. I like this blue thing at the bottom. Think of this as a summer version of Shuhrah. It does have quite a lot in similar to Shuhrah, minus that ashiness, minus that strong leather, and minus that deep dark feel that you get from Shuhrah. Like I said, you know, think of this as a lighter, more wearable summer version of Shuhrah. Let's look at the points. With a total of 35.5, I've given it a 7.5 for a scent. Performance, I've given it a 7.5. Compliment factor, I've given it a 6.5. Wearability, I've given it 7. And for value for money, I've given it a 7 as well. On number 19, we have Qasamat MOHRAF. Now Qasamat MOHRAF is very similar to scents like Armani Privé's Rose d'Arabia or Xerjoff's More Than Words. With a total of 36 points, this one is on the 19th spot. For the scent, I've given a 7.5, performance an 8, compliment factor 7, wearability a 6.5, and value for money a 7. On number 18, we have FAQAT Lil RAJAL, which for some reason I can't find the bottle for. It's somewhere in the house, but I just can't find it. In fact, earlier today, before we started the video, I even put up a story on Instagram. Have a look of us going crazy searching for it. If you're wondering why I don't do list videos that much, I'm trying to do 25 Rasasis, and then this is what happens, because you need to reset the entire thing, and I can't find one fragrance. Searched everywhere, searched there, also searched here, but I can't find one of them. It has to be somewhere in the house. I just can't find it. Anyways, couldn't find the bottle, even though we went crazy searching for it. But I'll tell you what the points are. It gets a total of 36, with the scent getting a 7.5, the performance getting an 8, the compliment factor getting 6, wearability getting 6.5, and value for money getting an 8. It is a little medicinal in the opening. The oud in it, which is, you think of like a Montal style oud, which may throw people off, and you know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's why it loses points in compliments and wearability. The scent itself is really good, but again, like I said, not everyone's cup of tea, and that's why it loses points, and that's why it's on rank 18. On number 17, we have RUMZ Al Rasasi's CHEETAH. This one opens quite a lot like Black Afghano, but this one I think is, I would say, not an exact clone. It's slightly lighter. The violet leaf gives it a bit of an aquatic feel as well, even though it's not an aquatic scent at all. It is a winter-like scent, but the one that I can compare it to the most is Black Afghano. This gets a total of 36.5 points, scent an 8, really classy, performance 8.5, does perform really well, compliments factor is 6, wearability is 7, and value for money another 7. Moving on to number 16, we have Rasasi's Shuhrah. Everyone knows about it. It's a love it or hate it kind of scent. For the scent, I've given it a 7.5. Quite decent actually. Very different. For performance, a 10. There's no beating the performance of this one. For compliments, it's a 6. For wearability, it's a 4.5. For so no. And for value for money, it's a 9, giving it a total of 37. On number 15, I have a Frederick Malle Portrait of a Lady alternative, and this one is called Junoon Velvet. Junoon Velvet comes in at number 15. I've given it a 9 for the scent. Really nice scent. I've given it a 9 for performance. It really does well. Compliments factor, I've given it a 7.5. Wearability a 6, and where it loses most of the point is value for money. If you see the red arrow, it means that this has the least value for money from all the Rasasis that I have, giving it a total of 37.5. On number 14, I have Rasasi's alternative to Baccarat Rouge 540, and this one's called BAREEQ, and it's from the Qasamat range. For the scent, I've given it a 7.5. For the performance, a 7. Compliments factor an 8.5. For wearability, an 8. And for value for money, a 7, giving it a total of 38. On number 13, I have ENTEBAA for women, this pink one, not the men, the women version, ENTEBAA. This is quite a lot like, if I remember correctly, Guerlain's Champs-Élysées. If you've tried that, I'm not sure if it's the extra, because they have 3 versions. They have the EDT, EDP, and then they have the extract version, which actually smell quite similar. So this one is quite a lot like that, especially the peach and blackcurrant in the opening. Yeah, it's got that champagne-like vibe. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it does have that. And it also has that slight green feel from that mimosa, the mimosa flower that it has. So it's not an exact copy of that, but it's somewhere in the same ballpark as Guerlain's Champs-Élysées. The points are scent 8, really nice scent, my wife loves it. Performance, an 8, does perform. Compliments factor 7, if you like it, you like it. Wearability, an 8, easy to pull off. And value for money, a 7.5, giving it a total of 38.5. Moving on to number 12, we have Qasamat EBHAR, again from the Qasamat line. This one is a nice sweet caramel vanilla like scent with slight freshness in the top with apple and lemon. This one reminds me of, I think it's an alternative to Nobel 1942's La Denza de la Bellule. Now, I'm not saying that name correctly. I'm sure I've butchered it, but I'm sure you know what scent I'm talking about. La Denza de la Bellule. There's another alternative to that one, which is Valencia from Swiss Arabian, but I think this one is slightly better, slightly more dense. And also, if you notice, this color is really dark. I remember when I bought it, it was not this dark, but it has changed over time. Let's look at the points. For the scent, it's got an 8.5. For the performance, a 7. For the compliments factor, an 8.5. For wearability, an 8. And for value for money, a 7, giving it a total of 39. And it's on rank 12. On number 11, we have DAAREJ, and you can see I'm actually holding on to this little juice that's left. The new ones, I've actually seen the bottle. The color is much lighter than this one, and the scent is slightly lighter as well. This one has a strong cumin note, at least to my nose. The new one has a very different feeling cumin to it. This one I feel is very close to Valentino V, and I really don't want to let go of this because yes, there is a difference. I know a lot of people hype the whole difference in batches, but I did find that not only the color, but the new one is nowhere close to this old DAAREJ. Let's look at the points. For the scent, it gets an 8. For the performance, a 7. For the compliments, a 7. For wearability, also a 7. And for value for money, it gets a 10 out of 10. This is definitely 100 ml, yes. And this could, at least a few years back, could have been picked for around 50 dirhams. That's around $15. and when I picked it up, I started using it in the colder weathers, and whenever I was traveling to colder places, definitely gets you compliments. Definitely you're going to smell very different and people around you are going to notice it. I just wish that they come back with this formulation because the new one is nowhere close. We reached the top 10. On number 10 we have RUMZ Rasasi Crocodile. Now you may know this as a Dio Sauvage alternative, although to me it's not an exact clone of Dio Sauvage. It does have that same feel. I am definitely sure they're going for that one, but this one is a lot peppery. It has a lot more ambroxan, and it also has a bit of sweetness at the same time. It also feels a lot less airy, a little more dense than most Sauvage alternatives and even Sauvage EDT on its own. Let's look at the points. For the scent, it gets a 7.5. For the performance, a 7.5. For the compliments, a 9.5. That green arrow means that this one is number 1 on my list of most complimented Rasasi fragrances. For wearability, an 8. And for value for money, it gets a 6.5. Loses points in the value for money because this one is a 50 ml bottle, a total of 39, again respectable. If this 50 ml bottle was available for slightly cheaper, say about 10 or 20 dirhams cheaper as well, this would get another point and it would be much higher up in my list. On number 9, I have SOTOOR WAAW from the SOTOOR range. WAAW is just the letter WAAW in Arabic. It looks like a number 9. If you like scents like Halfeti and Oud Malaki from Chopat, then this will be right up your alley. Let's have a look at the points. This has a total of 39.5. Scent 8.5, really good scent. Performance 8, does well in the cold. Compliments 7.5. Wearability is 7 and value for money at 8.5. Drinks break. Let's go. On number 8 we have probably the most popular Rasasi scent. It's called Hawas for him. Again, I have an older batch. I'm not too sure if there's differences between the old one and the new one. There is a difference in color. I'm not sure about the performance in the scent. This is an excellent alternative to Invictus or Invictus Aqua. Let's quickly look at the points. It gets a total of 40 out of 50, with scent getting 7.5, the performance getting 8, compliments getting 8, wearability getting a 9.5, and that green arrow means that it is the highest among all the 25 Rasasis, and value for money a 7. On number 7 we have FATTAN. This is again an old bottle where I have like 1 or 2 sprays remaining. I've kept it with me because again I've noticed a difference between this one and the new one that I have. I'm disappointed, but for this one, this bottle that I have from before, I'm not sure if the color has changed or I have to check because I've used too little of this and I don't remember what the real color was, but definitely the scent is slightly, I won't say watered down, slightly lighter, but maybe that needs more time to macerate. I don't know the science behind it. Like I said, I'll try it again, but this old one is really really good, and it actually is an alternative to Terre d'Hermes and Terre d'Hermes vetiver. Let's look at the points. Scent 8.5, performance 7.5, compliments an 8, wearability an 8, and value for money an 8, giving it a total of 40 points. You may have noticed that even Hawas had 40 points, but this one for me is a little better, so I put it one step ahead of Hawas just based on my preference. This one just gets the edge over Hawas, and that's why this is 7 and Hawas is on number 8. On number 6 we have Rasasi's Al WISAM Day along with Siaj from Armaf. This one is one of my favorite Silver Mountain water alternatives. Very classy. The rose in this is beautiful. Let's look at the points. For scent, it gets an 8.5. For performance, a 7. For compliments factor, an 8. Wearability, a 9. And for value for money, it gets another 8, giving it a total of 40.5. We reach the top 5. On number 5, we have Qasamat Rasana, my favorite from the Qasamat series. And this one is very similar to scents like the ones from the Aventus DNA. Some say that it's an Aventis smoky batch clone. I don't think it is. It is the same vibe, but again, it doesn't really smell like anything directly. Yes, it has a little Hachibat feel. It has a bit of a scent of peace feel in it, but it's not exactly like any of those. Beautiful scent quality. Let's look at the points. Yes, scent, it gets a 9. Very, very, very well done scent. Not a boring Aventis. There's quite a lot of change from start to end. Performance an 8, compliments factor an 8, wearability an 8.5, and value for money a 7, giving it a total of 40.5. On number 4, we have another Aventis scent, and this is again from the RUMZ Rasasi range. This is called RUMZ Rasasi's Zebra, one of the better Aventis alternatives out there. A very strong lemon opening, but not as synthetic as Clubbed into Intense Man. It's actually pretty fresh, and overall also the scent keeps its its quality all throughout the scent journey. Let's look at the points for scent. I've given it a 9. It's very, very good. One of the higher quality Aventis alternatives out there. Performance an 8, does really well. Compliments a 9. You will get noticed, and because you get noticed and because of that DNA, you will get complimented. Wearability at 8.5, and only place where it loses points is value for money, but it's a 6.5 because this is a 50 ml, and most Aventis clones are in the same range but come in a bigger bottle. Top 3. Let's see whether your number 3 and number 2 is on my number 3 and number 2. On number 3, we have my wedding day scent, which is from the La Yuqawam range. It's called AMBERGRIS. Halfway through this bottle, I don't really wear it a lot. I wear it when I want to feel special. Even though it is a clone of Irish leather, and there are a lot of Irish leather clones out there, this one is hands down the best Irish leather clone. In fact, I like it even more than Irish leather because it's got a very dehydrated, vetiver like feel, which I don't get in Irish leather. Let's look at the points quickly. It gets a 9 for scent, an 8 for performance, an 8 for compliments, 8.5 for wearability, and 7.5 for value for money, giving it a total of 41. On number 2, I have Oud Al Baruz ASRAR Indonesia. This is from the Baruz of the Oud Al Baruz line, and let's look at the points. 9.5 for the scent. That green arrow, you already know what that means. This has the highest rating for the scents from my 25 Rasasis. There's no debating the quality. It may or may not be your kind of scent, but the scent quality and the overall feel is just one of the best from Rasasi. Performance a 9. 3 to 4 sprays are more than enough. Lasts me all day. Some people, I remember Shajil Bhai, he has his own channel, Scent On. He told me that he doesn't get too much performance from this one, but honestly I do, and a lot of people do get it. But yeah, I have heard that a lot of people don't as well. I don't know why that is, but for me 3 to 4 cents lasts me 14-16 hours without a problem. Coming to the points again, for compliments it gets an 8, for wearability an 8, and for value for money is where it loses the points and it gets only 7, but still it gets one of the highest totals of 41.5. Alright, we've reached number 1. Any guesses what number 1 is? I know, you already know. Come on. Yeah? Guess? Yes? Hey, before I tell you what number 1 is, please hit a like on this video if you liked it. If you've made it to the end, come on. That means you like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, and also hit that bell icon so you never miss a thing from me. Number 1 is from La Yuqawam range. It's La Yuqawam Pour Homme, which is an alternative to Tuscan leather. Now, while there are cheaper alternatives to Tuscan leather out there in the market, this is, in terms of quality and performance and all of that, is leaps and bounds ahead of that. Yes, you can buy something for 25 dirhams from, say, Nabil, Arabian Man, I think it is called. Again, very close to Tuscan leather, doesn't last, quality is not there. This is the reason I haven't bought Tuscan leather, because this is just that good. More wearable. Hey, why am I saying all this? Let's look at the points. Scent, a 9, performance a 9, compliments factor an 8.5 when you wear it in the right weather, wearability an 8, value for money a 7.5. Even though it's a 7.5 on value for money, even though it doesn't get the highest points for anything, it does almost everything almost perfectly, and that's why with a total of 42, my number one scent is Rasasi's La Yuqawam. That brings us to the end of the video. Were you able to guess my number 3 and number 2? Let me know again in the comments. Tell me if you got it right. Keep commenting. The more you comment, the more you like, the more you share, the more you subscribe. YouTube pushes this to more people, like you, who enjoy videos like this. Lists actually take me a lot of time because my scents are all over the place, and it's not like I have like 5 or 6 from each brand. I have like 25 or 30 or 40 sometimes, and just finding them all over the house is a hassle. But hey, you guys enjoy content like this, so you know what, I'll try bringing in more like this. I tried a vlog in the last couple of videos, but hey, I got less views. But if you haven't seen it yet, you know what, I'm going to leave the link in somewhere in the description or in the first pinned comments. So if you want something different from this video, a lot of effort went into making that one. Have a look. Hey, if you don't want it, ignore it, it's fine. And until next time, keep smelling amazing.